We woke up this morning to the massive spreading of a rumor that Mephisto has been cast and even what project he will be entering into the MCU. And before you go crying, YouTuber that called Wolf, let's talk about it. Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Cosmic Culture, the channel where we talk all things major movie and television news, theories, breakdowns, and much more. I'm your host Chris, and today we have a Mephisto casting update. Specifically, they're talking about Sacha Baron Cohen, who will be playing Mephisto in Marvel's Ironheart series. Now, this originally seems to have come from M Studio News and is being spread all over by insiders who claim they also heard the same things, like Geek Vibe Nations and of course My Time to Shine Hello, who are just a few examples. We're going to talk about this news and what exactly it could mean in today's video. If you haven't already, consider subscribing and turning on that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the other major movie and television news updates we post daily here on the channel. You can also follow me on my other socials, Instagram at Chris M. Rosser and Twitter at TheCultureChris. Links to both of those are in the description down below. And while we're off topic, you might as well go down to the comment section and let me know which big bad are you most waiting for to join the MCU. And this is on topic as we are talking about Mephisto today. Now, this is an individual who we've been waiting for quite some time to join the MCU. In fact, all the real hype of him joining the MCU started with the first Disney Plus project, WandaVision. Now, there is a lot that makes sense about Mephisto showing up in WandaVision, and these are the reasons why YouTubers, influencers, and insiders across all platforms were hyping up the possibility of Mephisto being involved in WandaVision. It goes along with a storyline where Mephisto actually helps create Wanda's kids, and so on and so forth. So everybody thought that's the direction that we were headed, and that this was going to be something really crazy. Then we got to the end of WandaVision, and a lot of people would consider or argue that it was a disappointing ending that didn't really tease us as much as what we would have liked to see. And again, Mephisto was brought up, and brought up, and brought up, with no true avail. Well, here's why this report is a little bit different. Before, while we were watching WandaVision, we were playing the Marvel Easter egg game. We were all looking for different clues, references, points that could be brought back up later for the ending of the series that we can go, oh, back in episode 2 when there was this blood and it was red, that was Mephisto. Well, that obviously never happened. But here we have an actual report, a casting rumor. Now, for the most part, casting rumors are something that you always want to give at least a little bit of attention to. People have inside sources, and a lot of these rumors do end up ultimately being true. The only real problem with them is you have to weed through them all in order to get the right one, and it's not till we know who actually ends up being cast that we know, oh, that rumor was right this whole time. Because in the grand scheme of things, a lot of these casting rumors do just have tons of different people. For example, the Fantastic Four, almost every single famous actor who's in their 40s and has dark hair has been rumored to play Mr. Fantastic. But somebody knows, and somebody has the right answer. And when that does come out, everybody will go, oh, I knew it the whole time. But my big point and what I'm trying to say is, now that we're getting casting rumors and we're getting individuals, specific individuals, and a specific place where they're showing up, for me, as somebody who covers a lot of Marvel news and talks about insiders, scoops, and leaks, that's giving me a little bit more ounces of hope that this could be more legitimate or leading to something more legitimate. I'm not going to say for a fact that this is who will be playing Mephisto, but I am saying that I feel a lot more comfortable talking about Mephisto coming, and even more specifically in the Ironheart series. Now, Geek Vibes Nation was talking about the huge rumor that came from M Studios News, saying that Sacha Baron Cohen will be playing Mephisto. Who is he? Well, I honestly didn't know who he was, so I had to do a little research, and it turns out he's the guy that plays Borat, which is a very bizarre selection, although people are saying that he's going to do an excellent job and that he has been very, very well casted for this role. Now, if I see Borat, I'm not really seeing the big soul harvester Mephisto, but that doesn't mean he doesn't have the chops for the role. My Time to Shine Hello also adds on Twitter, fun fact, they wanted Giancarlo Esposito for that role, but it looks like he turned it down. Now, Giancarlo Esposito was teasing to us that he's been in talks with Marvel not too long ago, although he was kind of teasing the possibility of playing a Professor X or Magneto or somebody in the X-Men, which very well might be why he turned down this role and could be playing one of those roles. A lot of people also said they'd love to see him play Doctor Doom, but I think he squashed all those rumors as well, staying pretty true to the fact that he wants to play one of the big X-Men, Professor X or Magneto. But just because he wants that doesn't mean Marvel's going to let that happen. Perhaps they offered him to play Mephisto and he said, nah, I don't want to do that, and won't end up in the MCU at all. But back to Mephisto, let's talk about also the MCU compared to when WandaVision came out and now. We've been talking about whether or not Disney would want to do something as potentially dark as having essentially the devil on the screen. And for every extensive purpose, Mephisto is the devil of the MCU. I've discussed with other YouTubers how Marvel's never really included demons or darkness or anything like that. But we did get Agatha Harkness, we did get the Scarlet Witch, we did get Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, where they confirmed demons and shadow creatures and even the Elder God Cthulhu. So with that confirmation that there are demons, there is dark, scary monsters and bad things happening, which again was supported by Moon Knight, supported by Werewolf by Night, and by the inclusion of the Bloodstone family, who will spend all of their time trying to capture and defeat monsters, which will hopefully eventually lead to Midnight Suns. We might be actually getting a very interesting side of the MCU introduced to us very, very soon. Now, whether they originally had plans to introduce Mephisto or they just saw how excited everybody got and thought to themselves, we should get this character into the MCU, remains to be unseen, but they definitely do listen to fans. In fact, Kevin Feige himself has admitted that John Krasinski only became Mr. Fantastic in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness because of how much the fans wanted that. So if the fans have gone crazy with excitement for Mephisto, that very well could be the reason why now they're headed in that direction, eventually leading to, as I mentioned, the Midnight Suns and further excitement and groups and monster hunters, demons, all sorts of characters that Marvel has at their disposal. I also think it's important to mention that Werewolf by Night, which certainly leads into the demon, monster, darker side of the MCU, was very, very well received by fans. This is a show that people really haven't had much bad to say about it at all, other than maybe it felt a little short, which coming in at only an hour, it very well could have, considering how good it was. So with all of the good responses they're getting to the Monster Hunter, Moon Knight, gods, avatars, creepy, scary things, it's very possible that Marvel's going to keep diving into that direction. They're going to have their lighthearted comedies like we see with She-Hulk and Ms. Marvel. They're going to have their big team-up movies like we're going to see in the cosmic side with Guardians of the Galaxy, the Avengers on the Earth side, and many other teams as well. But I am very excited for this dark Monster Hunter side of the MCU, and as I just mentioned, especially considering how well Werewolf by Night was put together. So let me know what you think about this casting news in the comment section down below. Do you believe that Mephisto is on the horizon? And what do you think about the possibility of Sacha Baron Cohen playing this role? Thank you guys so much for watching to the very end of the video. If you haven't already, consider subscribing and turning on that notification bell, and I'll be sure to catch you guys all in the next one right here on Cosmic Culture.